Alright, Danny's D-World, Abel, XCM, Michael, Mattkiller, and the rest of the Dragon Ball protests. Now it's time for another Dragon Ball Z rant. Well, this time, this is my off-camera Cell Saga video response aimed at you guys, the larger webcam version. I'm going to try to be as short as possible, but, yeah. Yeah. One thing I'm sick of with you Dragon Ball Z fans, this is all of you. Whenever I argue or debate with you guys about Dragon Ball Z, when you recognize that my criticisms and opinions and my opinions and criticisms of Majin Buu and Super Resurrection F can't be countered, and those sagas and franchises can't be defended, you have the audacity, and the gall to try to come back to the much more awesome Cell Saga, which was a period when Dragon Ball Z wasn't so bad. As much as I hate Dragon Ball Z, it's mostly just Majin Buu, Super, and Resurrection F. If it was as bad as the Cell Saga is, which I'm about to get to, if it was just Cell Saga, if it was just Cell Saga and nothing else came later, or if the sagas coming after Cell were at least much better and weren't terrible, like Buu, Super, and the worst of all time, the Frieza movie Resurrection F, I would forgive everything that took place in Dragon Ball, and would be more respectful towards the Dragon Ball franchise and quote unquote Toriyama. But that being said, the Cell Saga alongside the Otherworld Tournament, the short-lived Otherworld Tournament saga, used to be my childhood favorite sagas, and I still enjoyed them into adulthood. Now into adulthood, I only like the Otherworld Tournament. When it comes to the Cell Saga is even worse than Majin Buu. The only thing that makes the Cell Saga better than Majin Buu is it had a better cast of characters. It had the OG Dragon Ball Z team, this time with Trunks added to the team and Vegeta added to the team, now playing Piccolo's old role from the Saiyan and Namek-based sagas. But and a much better villain and a much better villain, and as much as I hate their climax with Gohan and Vegeta technically beating Cell, as much as I hate their climax as an adult, a much better climax. They at least won with their power, and they didn't spam the Dragon Balls until after this fight, until after the fight and battle with Cell was done, and they saved a good number of people, and most of the characters who would be derailed after this, they were derailed here, but it wasn't as bad as it was in Buu and quote unquote Super. So those are the only things that make it slightly better. Make no mistake, it's worse. It's actually worser than Majin Buu storyline wise. Yeah, this is even worse than storyline wise, because at the beginning we had the Z Fighters who achieved godlike power, went through the intense gravity training that was needed to beat the Saiyans, that was needed to even stand up to the Frieza force people. All of a sudden, the Z Fighters who trained with Kami, trained with Popo, trained with King Kai, these are not Super Saiyan gods, but these are gods nonetheless, which means after achieving this godlike power, nothing on Earth, unless the person is a mutant and then got cybernetic parts, nothing on Earth should be able to beat them. Yet for some odd reason, the Z Fighters, quote unquote, can't beat weak androids created on Earth, not androids from space like later in GT or the Transformers, mutant alien bots from outer space. No, regular humans created on Earth. The whole first part of the Cell Saga, the Cell and Android sagas, is a ripoff of Terminator and Sonic the Hedgehog. Both the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog and Dragon Ball borrowed from each other in the early 90s. Sonic the Hedgehog took all of Dragon Ball's ideas, which some of them existed long before Dragon Ball, and did them right, whereas once again, Dragon Ball took all of Sonic's ideas and did them wrong and poorly, and quote unquote poorly. And Sonic the Hedgehog has an old man making robots bent on taking over the world. Except in that franchise, it was more believable. It was more believable because the Sonic characters, despite how superhuman they are, they're basically human levels. And to achieve their god-like power, their super god-like power, they need rings and Chaos Emeralds to achieve that said Super Saiyan like power. So a metallic being with the same powers as theirs, including also using the rings and Chaos Emeralds, would make that android robot metal mecha Sonic even more quote unquote more powerful than the quote unquote Sonic than the Sonic cast combined. Now going back to and then Terminator, I think his name is Kyle Reese, and the other one is Sarah Connor. It's only two regular humans and one Arnold Schwarzenegger bot versus an army of metallic beings, which makes it much more interesting and much more scary on how just one robot and two humans are going to survive against all of those quote unquote robots. Here in Dragon Ball, these people have Super Saiyan like powers, and for the regular people like Tien and Yamcha, they have the King Kai Kami training. They have God. They don't have Super Saiyan God, but they have God like power too, which means nothing on Earth is on their level. Then if you try to come out here and say, oh, well, they duplicate their moves. You can replicate their moves, but you can't replicate their training, the intense gravity training, without actually trying it yourselves, without actually trying it yourself. Dr. Gero, an old man who's never trained a day in his life, was somehow able to grab Yamcha, grab Yamcha and suck all the life out of him. It's like I said, even worse than Majin Buu. As much as I hate Majin Buu for what they did to the characters and everything, at least Buu and the warriors preceding him, Deborah, Kui, and Yakin, I think that's his name, at least they, when you first saw them, up until the Z Fighters made fools of them, you thought they were legit, they were believable as threats to the Z Fighters. They should have been bigger threats to the quote unquote they should have been bigger threats to the Z Fighters instead of just being opening acts for the main boss, which was Majin Buu himself. So at least Majin Buu was believable. And then this was so bad that even the editors agree with me several years later, because they told Toriyama to change this shit. Yeah, a fat man and an old man, that was gonna kill off the Z Fighters. A fat clownish man and an old man was going to kill off the Z Fighters for good. That was the big bad threat that was going to finish off and do away with the Z Fighters. A fat man and an old man. The editor told him to change. So then he added 17, 18, and 16. That's slightly better, but that's a big, tall Schwarzenegger robot with a mohawk. That's a girl with a mini skirt, sleeveless jacket like vest, and some go-go cowboy boots. Then you got a guy with an orange scarf, a BB gun, long hair, and some high top footwear. How is that a threat to the Z Fighters? That's slightly better, but still, how is that a threat to the Z Fighters? Then he finally added Cell. I don't know why they call Cell an android, an artificial human bio warrior that starts off as a bug larva form and then grows to his imperfect form, sheds the skin, grows to his imperfect form, and then absorbs 17 and 18 to make himself perfect, the coolest Cell, perfect Cell. Cell alone was the MVP. Cell followed by a bunch of other characters, but Cell was the #1 MVP of that saga. Cell the androids, future Trunks, Gohan, Tien, and quote-unquote Yamcha were the best characters in this saga and make this atrocious saga watchable. Goku, Vegeta, Krillin, Roshi, Bulma, Chi-Chi, and finally his debut, Hercule, are the reasons this saga sucks and makes this saga almost unwatchable and unbearable. So once again, what I'm getting at is stop trying to come here. Cell Saga was just as terrible. It was just as bad. It was just as bad as Majin Buu. The androids and Cell games were some of the worst story arcs of all time. Only the middle is somewhat decent with the Z fighters and androids trying to stop Cell from achieving his trying to and failing miserably to try to keep Cell from achieving his perfect form. So yeah, let's go. But let's pretend. Let's turn your brain off and pretend to go along with Toriyama's bullshit, like I did as a kid when I didn't know any better. So let's go along with the beginning, with the quote unquote beginning. Okay. Firstly, we have Frieza come back in the Trunks saga, the short-lived Trunks saga. We have Frieza come back. We get Frieza get rebuilt stronger than ever, only to be killed by an unknown guy. With a sword. After Trunks introduces himself, it brings everything full circle. It brings everything from the last saga full circle. But this is before it was revealed why Trunks was there in the first place, or who he was. So Frieza got rebuilt stronger than ever, only to come back to Earth to die even faster. Yet several years later, post-Cell, post-Majin Buu, where the Z Fighters have acquired even more strength, and more power-ups and transformations. Then he was off-screen, was able to find a power source that was higher than the Super Saiyan, which he couldn't even touch here with Trunks and Goku in the Namek Saga. Then the Ascended Super Saiyan, then the Ultra Super Saiyan, then the Full Power Super Saiyan 2, 3, and the greatest one, Mystic, and achieve a gold form of his own and survive against the onslaught of a blue and red. He gets cut up like hot butter here. He gets cut up like hot butter and blown to smithereens, and yet we're supposed to take him seriously several years post-Cell, post-Majin Buu. What's after Frieza? Then Trunks, he tells the Z Fighters what's going to happen. He tells Goku what's going to happen to him and the Z Fighters in 3 years. Okay, watch this. Trunks is coming back from the present to warn you of a threat in the past, coming back from the future to warn you of a threat that's going to happen in your past timeline, in your quote-unquote past timeline. He talks about killer androids. Wait a minute. Trunks is a Super Saiyan, and he's coming back to warn you. That means if the androids are still terrorizing and are still alive in his time, that means he failed to stop them. Which means, if I'm you guys, it's going to take a force greater than a Super Saiyan and greater than the normal level you're at right now to beat these super-powered androids. Nope, Goku and them, they chillax, do regular training sessions, do regular sparring sessions, target practice. For Yamcha, we saw some weight training, and when it's fight time, and the real androids show up, they're shocked that they lose. They're lose. But let's continue. The 3 years happen. Finally, Dr. Gero and Android 19 show up. I already mentioned the bullshit with Android 20, Dr. Gero and quote-unquote Yamcha, weak man, never trained a day in his life. Somehow equipping himself with cybernetics makes him more powerful than Yamcha. And get the fuck out of here with that Team 4-star bullshit. Eat all of you. Team 4-star bullshit, all of you. And Yamcha the loser. Yeah, Dr. Gero, he's not even, realistically, he's not even a match for the weakest and wimpiest quote-unquote Z fighter. Biggest total disgrace to the Yamcha character. As much as I hate Yamcha losing all the time, fights before this, it it was realistic and quote unquote justified. I'm going to go over each Yamcha fight. His first major battle after Goku, because after Goku, this is when he went downhill. After Goku, his first major battle was with Roshi. Yamcha didn't know Jackie Chan was Roshi, and had he known that, he would have done the smart thing and backed off. His next big fight was the Fortune Teller Babas. These were much better performances, with bandages, the Mummy being one of the strongest there, and actually being one of the more exciting fights and a gutsy performance from Yamcha. Then his next biggest fight is Tien Shinhan. Tien at that time was one of the most powerful people on earth, and he didn't know much about Tien. Then he set out the entire King Piccolo saga because he was injured. Then Piccolo Jr. He lost to the nerdy Shin, but it was Kami in disguise. It was quote unquote Kami in disguise. Saiyan Saga. He fought the Cybermen. He actually beat the Cyberman and turned his back and got blown to smithereens. He set out the Namek Saga, and here. So he lost, but it was a realistic reason that he lost, some kind of handicap. Either he didn't know about the person's power, so it was wrong place, wrong time, or in which case he didn't finish the job. He got cocky and didn't finish the job, and the Cyberman jumped on top of him and killed him, which could have happened to anyone, but it happened to Yamcha. It happened to quote unquote Yamcha. This right here was a disgrace, and like I said, it was the official beginning. It started way before this, but it was the official beginning of the Saiyans taking over, and all the non-Saiyan characters slowly being phased out, which even fans criticize DBZ for, and people like me condemn this show for. But this was the official beginning. Right here. So let's continue. So then Goku fights Android. Goku fights Android 19 and loses because of the heart virus. Like I said, we're going to pretend that Android 19, a robot, is a match for a Super Saiyan. Goku with the heart virus, and just regular Goku should have been enough. So then Vegeta steps in and tries, and this is why Yamcha was one of the MVPs of this saga. As much as I hate that Dr. Gero struggle and fight, Yamcha recognized his weakness and was the smartest one there, next to Gohan. Yamcha recognized his weakness and carried Goku off the battlefield, whereas the rest of the Z fighters tested the androids, basically allowed Dr. Gero to get away to unleash 2 more powerful androids and got their butts kicked. And had it not been for Trunks interfering with the timeline, Trunks would have had another devastated future on his quote unquote hands. But let's continue. Let's quote unquote continue with this atrocious saga. So what happens next? Vegeta fights Android 19, easily beats him. However, he didn't dominate like a Super Saiyan should, and he let 19 steal a bunch of energy from him, which somehow made it possible for Dr. Gero to beat him. Then he called Dr. Gero's bluff and got Dr. Gero to retreat. So he let Dr. Gero retreat, later trick him into stealing more energy, then with a distraction from Bulma, allowed Dr. Gero to get away again, who unleashed 2 more powerful androids. Then Vegeta fought the androids, who Trunks was a Super Saiyan and is back to warn you about in the past. He fought the androids and got his butt kicked and got his freaking arm broken, and the rest of the Z fighters got their butts kicked too. Then Krillin, one of the next worst characters in this quote unquote saga. Krillin was useless in this saga. He had no purpose to be in this saga. If we had to get rid of the non-Saiyan characters, Krillin, Bulma, Chi-Chi, Roshi should have been Roshi and later Hercule should have been the first out of the series, especially the first 4. Hercule couldn't work. It's the way he's written that I have a problem with, which I'm going to get to later when I get to Hercule. But Krillin should have been out of the series. There is no, from a narrative standpoint, there is no reason he should be here. He is only here to set up him and Android 18. And no, that's not character development. That's plot devices. That's using Android 18 as a plot device to keep Krillin in the series when his character has outlived his usefulness. The peak of Krillin's character was the Namek Saga. Was the entire Namek Saga. Getting all 7, planning and getting all 7 balls before Vegeta, Frieza and his men get all 7 balls, making the wishes, bringing back everyone to hopefully help stop Frieza. Then later himself dying at Frieza's hand to finally get Goku to Super Saiyan. After that, he should have left the series. It's a plot hole that he's here. After what happened in the Frieza saga, why do people like Goku and Gohan and the other Z fighters who are bigger, stronger, and capable of why did they allow him to come to the battlefield? Why did they bring him to the cell? Why did they bring him to the android fight? A fight he is destined not to survive. Destined to lose and not to survive. Not to quote-unquote survive. Sorry, being the main character's best friend does not grant you a main character role. This is taking a Yamcha and a Hercule, and he's worse than both of them. A Yamcha and a Hercule, and not only making him the main character, but putting him on the front line. God, I hate Dragon Ball, man. Then we have Piccolo fusing with Kami, him fighting Android 17 in one of the highest moments, in one of his last great moments. Then he fights Imperfect Cell. Then Imperfect Cell comes back and easily defeats Piccolo, nearly at that time thought to have killed him, nearly killing him, at that time thought to have killed him, leaving the androids and Tien, the quote-unquote fins for themselves, the high point of this saga, the Tien Shinhan part, probably my favorite and best fight. This was the only fight that wasn't a stupid kung fu battle, a stupid cheesy kung fu karate hyper fight battle with ki blasts. This was the only actual real legit fight where the whole purpose was just to buy the androids time to quote unquote escape. This awesome sacrifice, which is one of the high points of this atrocious cell arc. One of the high points of this atrocious cell arc was undone episodes later by Krillin, Vegeta, and Android 18 herself. We had Vegeta allowing Cell to achieve his perfect form instead of just killing semi-perfect Cell and preparing for his fight with Goku, which was his mission and not learning anything from the Frieza saga. Once again, telling and allowing the villain to transform, which Vegeta's been making that mistake since he met Goku. Then you got Krillin, first off, being there, jeopardizing the mission by being there. If you weren't going to press the controller, you had no business, quote unquote, being there. You had no business, quote unquote, being there. And so since Krillin was there, he jeopardized the mission, and since he didn't turn off the controller, that increased the chances of Android 18 being absorbed. Then you got Android 18 herself. Android 18 had Piccolo, later Android 17, later 16, Tien Shinhan, Vegeta. Even though Vegeta sold her out, Vegeta still fought Cell long enough to give them time to escape. Vegeta and Future Trunks, and finally Krillin himself, even though that wasn't much, all fighting to help her escape. And she had the audacity, and this one was worse. This one was at least better than the Buu Saga battle, and I use the term Buu Saga battle loosely. She at least went down fighting with Cell. After all that, she still got captured and still got absorbed. Android 18 is the Yamcha and Raditz and Sakura of androids. Android 17 got absorbed too, but it was a respectable loss. After a beatdown from Cell, and after Android 16 basically avenged him and beat down Cell for him, Android Cell ambushed 17 from behind and straight up quote unquote absorbed him when he dropped his guard. 18 had all those people fighting for her, and then she even tried fighting herself, and she still got absorbed. But at least she fought. She went down fighting here. Ooh, the Buu Saga one was worse. The Buu Saga fight was worse. So, yeah, man, yeah. And after that, after this failure, okay, Trunks gives it a try now. Tries it against Perfect Cell. This is one of my other all-time favorite fights. The music especially. One of the things good about Kai was the Japanese theme, adding that badass Lone Warrior theme. That Lone Warrior theme, which for some odd reason the English people foolishly removed that song. Anyway, this fight was going real good. It was going real good. Trunks is doing it. He's doing it. Only to later find out he can't keep up with Cell. And it's no match for Cell because all he's really doing was increasing the size of his muscles. And yes, he gets the power, but he sacrifices the speed and stamina to keep up with Cell. Wow, waste of time. Regular people in real life know that, but apparently an ascended Super Saiyan, they know that. If I mock Vegeta, then I gotta mock Trunks and then later quote-unquote Goku. So then Cell wins this. After this failure, to stop Cell from achieving his perfect form, and to stop Cell, why would I care about the Cell games? Why would I sit up here and watch the Cell games? I'm just watching a garbage, pointless, for the most part, garbage, and pointless tournament. Now when I watch this, I always skip Hercule and Goku scene. First, this was the introduction of Hercule. Hercule is actually, even though Vegeta, Bulma, Krillin, Roshi, and Chi-Chi, and Launch and Bulma and Frieza, even though in my opinion all these characters are worse than Hercule, Hercule is probably the #1 worst character of Dragon Ball Z. Because Hercule has no business, he has no place. As much as I can't stand all those other characters I just named, they at least have a place in Z. Hercule has no business in Dragon Ball. His existence is a plot hole. And see, here's the problem with Hercule. Hercule could work if he was like Dan from Street Fighter, whereas everyone knows he's a loser. Only a couple of people like him, and he at least has some skill and some power to at least make his wild stories and adventures somewhat believable. Hercule has basically really no power. Yet people believe he's this super strong fighter in the same universe where, yeah, this ain't Dragon Ball Evolution. It was through Dragon Ball Evolution that I discovered this plot hole. Hercule, quote unquote, in this same universe, the people believe Hercule's the strongest when they know who Goku, Piccolo, Roshi, and the rest of the Z fighters from the Tenchikai Budokai tournaments. Where the Tenchikai Budokai tournaments, all the stuff Hercule says is fake. The ki blasts and bombs and stuff, the ki blasts and teleportation. In Dragon Ball, these were all shown to be the real thing. And for some odd reason, these were all shown to be the real thing. Yet, several years later in Z, which it hasn't been that long since Dragon Ball, all of that is fake, and nobody except the announcer man of tournaments and the king, I think his name is King Furry, mayor or president, mayor and president from the King Piccolo saga, none of them only those two recognize Goku and the Z fighters, and they know who Goku is in this universe. They know him not only from the Tenchikai Budokai tournament, but they know twice he liberated the world from Piccolo. He was the boy who liberated the world from Piccolo. So get out of here with this Hercule nonsense. Do you know the moral panic if beings like Piccolo, King Piccolo, later the Saiyans, and later the worst one, Majin Buu of all time, that would be if they exist? And you're gonna tell me somehow, after all of that, you're gonna try to tell me with a straight face you saw these Z fighters demonstrating awesome power, not seen in real life, doing moves and powers not seen in real life. Somehow a Hercule an old man, somehow Hercule, a regular martial artist coming out of nowhere, winning tournaments, winning turns and doing regular stuff that everyone in real life can do, like chopping boards. A lot of people can chop boards and stuff and win a regular tournament with normal people. You're gonna tell me that's a better story? That's a better story and is more memorable. Is more memorable than these people with powers? Get the fuck out of here! An insult of everyone's intelligence. An insult of everyone's intelligence who's been watching or following Dragon Ball since the quote-unquote Pilaf saga. And racist. The human race is constantly in Dragon Ball shown to be weak. Weak, stupid, and unprepared. It's one thing to be weak, but to be stupid and unprepared every time is what's his name. You don't need to be friends with Goku or be a Super Saiyan or be a superhuman martial artist. Then no Hercule is no match for a being like Cell and Majin. There's no match for a being like Cell and Majin Buu. But in Dragon Ball Z, you got to be all those things. Then no Hercule is no match for Cell. You got to be friends with Goku to know the difference between a ki blast and a bomb, an explosive. Hate this show, man. Hate this franchise. Fuck Toriyama for this garbage, man. Toriyama, the worst and most overrated writer of all time. I'm getting mad right now. I'm getting off topic. But, So, what I'm getting at is, I'm telling each of you, Daddy's D-World, Abel, Michael, Mattkiller, XM, and the rest of the Dragon Ball protest. Cell Saga, just as bad as actually worser than Majin Buu. Only the better cast, climax, and villain in Cell. Cell had more of a personality, whereas Majin Buu had really no personality. As awesome as he was, had no personality or quote unquote had no real purpose to be in the quote unquote series. So it makes this Cell slightly better than Buu. But both were equally terrible, man. Equally terrible. So now let's get to pussy ass Goku. Oh man, pussy ass. Oh no, I'm not finished with Hercule yet. Then we got pussy ass Krillin mocking Hercule when he lasted just about as long against Cell. He has powers. He had a hyperbolic time chamber he didn't use, and he jeopardized the mission and caused Cell to quote-unquote absorb Android 18. Yet he's up here making faces and making jokes at Hercule's quote-unquote expense when he can't talk. At least Hercule has the excuse of not having powers, and he didn't know it. He didn't know. He was stupid and didn't know. He didn't quote-unquote know. Yeah, he didn't know. So Krillin. Yeah, Krillin sucks, man. Now we get the pussy-ass Goku. If I mock Vegeta, I have to mock my favorites, future Trunks and Goku. Goku saw the weakness to both Trunks and Vegeta's Super Saiyan, Ascended Super Saiyan, and later Ultra Super Saiyan forms. He achieved the awesome full power, unlocked the full power of a Super Saiyan. Goku's last badass moment in the series. It would be all downhill from there. It was already all downhill after the Frieza saga, which was the peak of Goku's character, the Frieza saga. It was already all downhill after that. But after this saga, but after this moment right here, achieving the full power Super Saiyan, it was just downhill from here. So he unlocked the full power Super Saiyan. He fought Cell, and guess what? He couldn't beat him either. Waste of time. What was the point of getting invested if Goku was not only still going to lose, but even before he quit, he was getting his butt kicked. Then, not only did he quit, which I had a problem with, he quit without telling anybody, especially Gohan, who had to fight next. Then he powered up Cell. Then people say, well, he wanted Gohan to have a fair fight. Gohan is fighting now. It's Gohan's choice how he wants to face Cell. You're no longer fighting, asshole. So he powers up Cell, endangers Gohan. Then when he foolishly realized a lesson he should have learned years ago. This ain't character development. This is stupid. This is stupidity and dumbassery at its finest. Stupidity, dumbassery, and arrogance at its finest. And just Goku being an asshole, which is not new. Actually, not only not new, it fully kicked in with this saga right here. Fully kicked in with this saga right here. Goku after this, Goku during this saga and after this would be terrible up until a very non-canon GT when he finally advanced the character and got his character back to what it's supposed to be. Anyway, let's continue. So Gohan fights Gohan fights Cell, which is the only thing that makes this part of this crappy Cell games semi-watchable. Is Gohan and Cell. So Gohan fights Cell. Cell prepares to kill. Cell tries to bring out Gohan's power. Cell tries to bring out Gohan's power by unleashing the Cell Juniors onto the Z Fighters. If it had been for Android 16 sacrificing himself, the Z Fighters, you would have had the Z Fighters would have all died again. Which, looking back, in my opinion, that should have happened because every Z Fighter sucked after this saga. Every Z Fighter sucked after this saga and went downhill. I thought, and as a kid watching, I thought up until the ending happened was that all the Z Fighters are going to die again. And show no matter how much you try to change the future, you can't change fate and change the future. Everyone will die. Only instead of the androids killing them, the androids and everyone else will die to Cell. Will die to quote unquote Cell. Will die to Cell. Everyone excluding Gohan, and I guess future Trunks. And looking back, that probably should have happened. But yeah. In Android 16, one of the cooler characters who wasn't brought back. All they do is bring people back to life, and everyone who comes back is even lamer than they were when they were alive. 16, one of the coolest characters was now unfortunately never brought back. Anyway, let's continue. So he finally convinces Gohan to let go. Okay, this is the greatest moment ever. I'm talking to you, XAM, because after you realized you couldn't defend Majin Buu, you couldn't defend Super and Resurrection. Actually, Resurrection F hadn't happened yet at the time we had this debate. But since you couldn't defend those, you had the audacity to try to come back here. You tried to bring up the badass Gohan moment. Yes, even the greatest moment in the Cell games, and one of the greatest moments in the Cell Saga period sucks. Gohan met 16 that day. How does 16's death have that much of an impact on him? To quote unquote unleash the power in Super Saiyan 2. Then you try to say, there's a story because Gohan was trying to avenge 16. When he avenged 16, he tortured Cell, let the power go to his head, which allowed Cell to come up with a plan to blow himself up, which would have killed everyone, forcing Goku to sacrifice himself, and Cell survive and come back badder than ever, ever. No, he failed 16. Now the Gohan letting the power go to his head, I actually like that, but they didn't do anything with it. He didn't learn anything from this fight right here. So this is terrible. This is the greatest moment. It's terrible too, just like everything else. Yeah, once again, asshole, stop coming back here. Sorry, the Cell Saga is not your end game. Majin Buu is your end game. What we saw in the Majin Buu saga is in Super Resurrection Up is what the Z Fighters worked for and built to. The Z Fighters knowingly causing a problem, unleashing Majin Buu, allowing him to kill and destroy everything, and having the audacity to spam the Namekian's Dragon Balls. You couldn't even spam your Dragon Balls. You had to spam the Namekian's Dragon Balls and use the power to defeat Majin. Use the people's power to defeat Majin Buu, even though it was Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Fighters present on the spaceship who caused the release of Majin Buu. And yet the human race had to stand up for themselves when they should have learned to stand up several years ago for themselves with Piccolo, the Saiyans, and actually even before that, Red Ribbon Army. So once again, get the fuck out of here. Dragon Ball Z sucks. Buu Saga sucks, and this actually sucks even more. Yeah, trying to come back here. Then he continues. It gets even more stupid. Cell comes back. He kills Future Trunks. Then Vegeta goes off into a blind rage. And attacks Future Trunks. Attacks Cell. Vegeta, he couldn't beat regular Perfect Cell. What was he going to do against Super Perfect Cell? What does he do? He runs in. The one thing you don't do. He charges in, throws multiple ki blasts, throws multiple ki blasts like some machine gun. That's not martial arts. That's not strategy. That's not anything. Flies on a blind rage, throwing multiple stuff. And people try to say, oh, he was trying to avenge Trunks. Attacking Cell when it's futile, attacking Super Perfect Cell and getting yourself injured and hurt, hurt, possibly killed is not redeeming or avenging anyone. Let Gohan deal with Perfect Cell. So then here comes the plot hole. So then Vegeta gets his ass. So then Vegeta gets injured from Cell, forcing Gohan to step in and save Vegeta's ass, putting the Z Fighters in even deeper shit. Okay, Gohan would save Vegeta, but he is not going to do it in a way that's going to endanger him. They had Gohan on top of Vegeta taking the blast for him. Gohan is not taking no bullet for no Vegeta. He's sort of kicking him out the way, or using his ki to levitate him out the way, levitate him out the way, or using some of his ki. He probably didn't have enough power to do this. He probably wanted to save power, and blocking Cell's blast, and canceling out Cell's blast. No, Gohan gets on top of Vegeta and takes a bullet for him, putting the team in deeper shit. Now Gohan is missing an arm. Missing an arm, and had Goku not come to motivate Gohan to continue fighting, Cell would have won right there. And somehow Gohan, a one-armed Gohan, and Vegeta, who's weaker than Super Perfect Cell, somehow those two, Gohan with timely distraction from Vegeta, I mean, that's enough to kill Cell. That's enough to kill Cell, who is not only Perfect Cell, he's Super Perfect Cell. Like I said, get the fuck out of here. As an adult, I'm sad when Cell dies. The coolest and greatest fighter in Dragon Ball, the coolest and greatest character in Dragon Ball is quote unquote Cell. I cheer for Cell every time, unless Tien and Gohan were fighting. With the androids, I sort of wanted them to, or Android 16 is fighting. With the other androids and Future Trunks, I wanted them to win, but I really wanted to see Cell's perfect form. With Future Trunks, I wanted Trunks to win. But he got beat in such a terrible, humiliating, and disgraceful way that why would I ever watch this again? But I always cheer for Cell. You created the best. You created one of the coolest and best characters ever. I'm sad when he's gone, because the Dragon Ball and the entire franchise will completely go downhill after this, man. Nothing was gained from this victory right here. They repeated everything with Majin Buu, who was stronger and even more dangerous than Cell was. So yeah, Danny's D World, Abel, XAM, Michael, Mattkiller, nobody in the rest of the Dragon Ball protest. Myself and everyone else is not stupid and easily entertained morons like the rest of you. Dragon Ball Z sucks, no matter what saga we're in. Majin Buu and Super Resurrection F are your climax. Yeah, the Cell Saga and every other saga before Cell Saga on their own, they're actually okay. But no, they're all individually setups to the Majin Buu and Super Resurrection F. They were all building to those moments right there. So you know the drill. If one saga sucks, especially in this case, this is like 4+ sagas sucks, and each are your climax, that means everything before it sucks too. Everything before GT, everything before quote unquote GT sucks, and everything written by Toriyama sucks. Never ever, you XAM Michael Mattkiller, and this goes for you too in Abel and Danny's D World, never come at me or anyone trying it again. Dragon Ball Z sucks. Coming at me, especially you XAM and Michael Mattkiller. If I everything I said in 2014, you tried to come back. You tried to come back again, defending DBZ in 2014, as if everything I said in 2012 and 13 would somehow be untrue. Then you, Abel, you're even worse than they are. You're the dumbest and weakest member of the protest channel. As soon as I decide they fail, if you ever do respond to this video, you ever do finally man up and respond to this video right here, explain to me in great detail that as soon as I decide they fail, what makes you think you were going to try it? What makes you think you were going to try it? You were going to try it, and yes, Dragon Ball Kai does not fix this, even though this is Cell Saga. Dragon Ball Kai does not fix bad writing, so never ever try that again. If I don't like Z, the original, why would I like Kai, which is worse than that? At least in Z, you get better voice acting and music. You get the from the ocean and Japanese dubs. So please, once again, yeah, but dubs and voice acting and soundtrack does not correct bad writing. This is still Toriyama's atrocious script, no matter what dub or version we're watching or reading for the manga readers. So yeah, Majin Cell Saga sucks, and never ever 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 come back here again. Yeah, the Cell Saga used to be my childhood favorite saga. Now I hate it just as much as Majin Buu. Only the imperfect Cell portion is good and semi-watchable, and only the Otherworld Tournament. Actually, the Otherworld Tournament is the best saga. Otherworld Tournament is the best saga. Like I said in the Buu saga, is the best saga, and it wasn't even canon. Wasn't even canon. So yeah, I'm finished for now. Hit my music.
Like a million faces, I recognize them all. And one by one they all become a number as they fall. In the face of reason, I can't take no more. One by one they all become a black mark on the floor.